We didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't touch it.
The regular Cuyahoga County Council meeting for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 will please come to order. Before we begin our meeting, I'd like to remind everyone that we welcome your input and we respect your right to voice your opinion. However, this council has the right and responsibility to maintain and enforce content-neutral rules of decorum. Members of the public are invited to attend and speak only under the rules set by this body. We expect speakers and members of the audience to abide by these rules. We've recently witnessed several rule violations over the past few meetings, including heckling and outbursts from the audience and hostile remarks directed toward others in attendance. These violations of council rules were disrespectful to those attempting to share their views during public comment, distracting to our members and those in attendance, and disrupted to the proceedings. If you witness someone directing aggressive or threatening remarks to another person in attendance, please notify one of the sheriff's deputies. This meeting of County Council is a lawful meeting, and disruption of this meeting is a violation of state and local criminal statutes. I am putting everyone on notice that individuals who disrupt this meeting, including audible outbursts during the Pledge of Allegiance, will be subject to removal by sheriff's deputies and possible arrest. If we have repeated or continuous disruptions, we may need to recess and clear the council chambers, at which point all members of the public may be required to leave the building and may access the meeting once it resumes via live stream. Tonight, we will hear from up to 30 speakers who have signed up, who will be selected at random. Again, we will be strictly adhering to the 2-minute time limit. When you hear the bell, please conclude your remarks by finishing your sentence within 5 seconds. Finally, at the request of the Sheriff's Department, we ask that attendees please take a seat during the meeting and not loiter in the aisles or at the back of the chambers. The clerk will please call the roll.
Good evening. Mr. Castleberry?
Here.
Mr. Gallagher?
Here.
Mr. Schlepper?
Here.
Ms. Conwell?
Present.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Turner?
Present.
Mr. Hauser?
Here.
Ms. Simon?
Here.
Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney?
Present.
Council President Miller?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We will now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Point of order?
Deputies will please remove anyone who disrupted the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll try that again.
Point of order. Point of order, Mr. President.
Racism is a public health crisis in Cuyahoga County. Racism is a public health crisis in Cuyahoga County. We see it today. What happened to the 2020 law? Racism is a public health crisis.
I'm tired of them playing the black card for real. Bullied. Now we're bullied.
Everybody who's not have now or please continue.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, Deb.
Council President,
Yes.
I would also just like to state as a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page.
Thank you very much. And we will now take a moment of silent meditation for personal reflection. Thank you very much. Do we have people signed in for public comment?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Danielle Murray. Danielle Murray.
I'm here on behalf of the
Please
Palace.
state your name for the
Yeah,
record.
Ms. Murray, state your name for the record, please.
Danielle Murray. I'm here on behalf of the Palestinian people, and I'm here on behalf of the truth. The genocide in Gaza is not a complex issue. You are either 100% against the genocide and have done something to put a stop to the genocide, such as the heroes in Cleveland for Palestine and Jewish Voice for Peace, or you're 100% for the genocide. Yes, Israel is killing unarmed civilians in Gaza. Yes, Israel is committing genocide. To support Israel is to say you support Israel killing unarmed civilians. To support Israel is to support genocide. Chris Ronayne isn't supporting Israel. Chris Ronayne is supporting genocide. Chris Ronayne is using our Cuyahoga tax dollars to support that genocide. You cannot just take a little bit of Israeli lobbying money, and you just like you cannot be a little bit genocidal. To support Chris Ronayne is to support genocide. Asking Chris Ronayne to stop investing Cuyahoga tax dollars is pointless, though, because like I said a couple weeks ago, you cannot negotiate with a terrorist. Chris Ronayne is a terrorist. So I'm going to ask 11 of you to do two things. If you do not denounce the genocide in Gaza, and you do not denounce Chris Ronayne using Cuyahoga tax dollars to support that genocide, I'm going to ask all of you to resign. Dale Miller, I would like to ask you personally to denounce Chris Ronayne use of Cuyahoga tax dollars on genocide bonds and to denounce the genocide in Gaza. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you personally to resign, and I'm going to be calling you every day until you can either denounce the genocide in Gaza and denounce Chris Ronayne using Cuyahoga tax dollars for that genocide, or I'm going to ask you to resign. Thank you.
Marshall Shapiro.
I'm Marshall Shapiro. I live in Cuyahoga County.
Mr. Shapiro, if you could speak louder into the microphone, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
My name is Marshall Shapiro. I live in Cuyahoga County. And I just want to thank the council for your principled stand and not changing investments at this time when the one community is under attack and under siege. And that would be interpreted if changing anything at this time would be interpreted as an attack on that community. I want to thank you for not doing that. Thank you.
Chris Pinner.
Hi, my name is Chris Pinner. Mostly a lifelong resident of Cuyahoga County aside from college. I've spoken here many times before, and I'm back once again to ask Cuyahoga County to remove its investments in Israel bonds and to consider the horrible behaviors that those investments have endorsed already and will continue to endorse. The genocide of a people who have been occupied for decades at this point, and the tens of thousands of innocent people who have died in order to be able to take over a strip of land, apparently now for a beachfront casino. Oh boy. It's crazy. There's so many things that this county needs that it could do with that money other than sending it to people to murder children. We could do so much better, and we should, and we have a chance in the coming weeks to at least take a step towards that. And I would urge all of you to do that. Just don't reinvest. That's it. It's not hard. It's pretty easy. In past meetings, we've heard about how this is supposedly a financial decision and not a political one. Good to know dollars matter more than dead children. And we've heard people criticize that none of the pro-Palestine community are talking about the other horrible countries on earth, which is kind of funny when you have to compare the country you're defending to a bunch of other horrible countries. And yeah, we don't talk about North Korea because Cuyahoga County didn't send money to North Korea. So yeah, it'd be very easy to just divest. And it'd be really cool if Chris Ronayne would actually listen to us at any point, but we know he won't. But we're trying, and we're going to keep trying, in the hopes that just decency will win out. Thank you.
Yosef Khalif. Yosef Khalif.
My name is Yusuf Khalaf. I'm a Cuyahoga County resident and a Case Western Reserve University student. I'm gonna read testimonies from an article where 20 people in Gaza spoke after the ceasefire. This guy's name is Ahmed. He was 32. He's 32 and a construction worker. He ran 5 kilometers to find his parents 1 hour after the ceasefire was announced. He said, "I didn't even think, I just ran. My legs were moving before my brain could catch up. When I saw my mom standing in the doorway alive, I fell to my knees. She was holding a broom, sweeping rubble like it was just another Tuesday. I grabbed her and I didn't let go for 10 minutes. Before the war, I built houses for people. Now I don't even know if I can rebuild my own." Maryam, 45, a teacher in Gaza. She walked through the ruins of her house, picking up fragments of her children's toys. 3 hours after the ceasefire. "I found my son's toy car under the broken concrete. It was crushed, but I held it like it was gold. I kept digging. Photos, a teacup, my wedding dress. Every piece felt like a part of me. I didn't cry though, I just kept digging." There's many more, and I urge you to look them up. And the reason why this ceasefire is currently in jeopardy is because Israel violated it 110 times since it happened. And I want to bring notice to what you all here are complicit to with how they just physically assaulted Pastor Bunch and dragged him and used unnecessary force. None of you are not complicit in that. You're all involved. You watched that happen, and you knew it was gonna happen, and you didn't do anything. They took him to a room and we heard screaming, and they said we couldn't get to him. You guys make me, and my generation, we're supposed to look up to y'all, but y'all are just spineless. You truly are representing what we don't want to be. And free Palestine, divest from Israel. The bond date is coming up.
Rabbi Sharon Mars.
I am Rabbi Sharon Young Marcus from the Park Synagogue in Pepper Pike. Members of my congregation have come here today to thank the county leadership for investing in Israel bonds, a very sound investment. We urge you to continue your steadfast support of Israel, the United States' closest ally in the Middle East. In December, I led a group of 17 members of my congregation on a volunteer mission to Israel. Some of them are here today. We packaged vegetables for market, cooked for underprivileged families, made care packages with personal notes for soldiers, and we picked avocados on Kibbutz Kisufim, a small agricultural community of 300 people just a mile and a half from the Gaza border. Our Cleveland Jewish Community Federation has partners with this kibbutz to help rebuild it after the devastation of October 7th. On that horrific morning, the kibbutz was attacked, and 20 members were murdered or taken hostage, including 86-year-old Shlomo Mansour, the oldest hostage being held in Gaza. When our group was there, we visited his home, and his daughter has come to Cleveland to speak. Shlomo was supposed to be released with the 33 hostages in this current first stage of the ceasefire. But this morning we woke up to the sad news that today, 494 days later, Shlomo Mansour has been declared dead. Israel believes he was murdered on October 7th, and his body has been held in captivity since. His family needs to have his body returned so they can finally lay him to rest and mourn this difficult loss. He is survived by his wife, 5 children, 12 grandchildren, 5 siblings, and countless friends. Shlomo Mansour will be remembered for his heart of gold. I know County Council does not need to be involved in foreign policy, but it's important to our long-standing Cleveland Jewish community that you understand that Shlomo Mansour was an innocent civilian victim of an unprovoked terrorist attack. Thank you.
John Marcus.
Good evening. I'm John Marcus, and my wife, who just spoke before me, will be much more elegant than I am. My family has been in Cuyahoga County for 4 generations. I've served on many nonprofit and civic boards, including a long time ago chairing the historic Gateway neighborhood and serving on a predecessor of today's Downtown Cleveland, Inc. During those times, I spoke before City Council, met with the old county commissioners to advocate for what those organizations what we believed was good for Cleveland and beyond. The governmental bodies didn't always agree with our opinions, nor did the members of the community, but the disagreement was always respectful. What transpired at the January council meeting is beyond belief. The racist language, the blatant anti-Semitism was outrageous. We as a community can disagree, but blatant bigotry has no place in this meeting room or any meeting room. I want to thank you for your continued purchase of Israeli bonds. That's called a good investment. I want to apologize for needing to take time during this public comment, but it's necessary for you to hear our support. I want to apologize to those who have legitimate interest in the public's business if they are not granted time to speak. Finally, I wish to share a couple observations with the council. When we leave tonight, this group from the Jewish community who's here to support you, we cannot leave individually. We cannot safely stand outside waiting for our bus, Uber, or other mode of transportation home. We need to stay inside the building to make sure it is safe for us. How many of you sitting in front of me need an armed guard and need to walk through metal detectors when you go to your weekly religious services? That's what it means to be Jewish in this community in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, it's time to turn down the heat and figure out a way to end this discussion. It is meaningless. You've made your decisions, and it is time to get back to the people's business. Thank you very much for your time.
Abby Levin.
Good afternoon. My name is Abby Levin, and I'm a proud resident of Cuyahoga County. I'm here to thank Council and the county for not divesting in Israel bonds. I'm here to thank you for standing with the Jewish community, and I'm here to thank you for standing firmly against hate. And now I cede the rest of my time to the important work of the County Council.
Bert Rapowitz.
Hi, my name is Bert Rapowitz. I'm a proud member of Cuyahoga County. Love living here. And I want to thank you, the members of the council, for taking the high road, the high moral road of supporting Israel bonds and supporting Israel. I think you all know that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, and Israel is a true ally of the United States. Thank you for your continued support.
Mark Ashid.
Hello, my name is Mark Ashid. I want to start off by thanking the council, your partnership on so many issues. To live out our values on a daily basis is very important, and we appreciate that partnership very, very deeply. And to the new members, look forward to building that relationship and that partnership with you over the years. Council President Miller, wish you the best of luck and look forward to helping in any way we can in a successful 2025 for the council and for our county. And I just want to get up here and kind of talk about what we're talking about. You know, we are looking at a conversation over less than 1% of the investment budget in which it affects everybody in this room. We are here to express our opinions. We're here not to disrupt. We're not here to harass. We're not here to intimidate. And we are here because our very ability to express that right has been challenged. And so we're here in higher numbers than usual, and we will continue to be to show that we're not going to cower in the face of the intimidation that we've seen before us. And I just think it's ridiculous that we come up here and we listen to accusations that you're somehow complicit in something. I mean, you support the county's investment portfolio, which job is to provide the best return for its citizens so we can spend as well as we can to invest in our communities. You didn't vote on anything happening over in the Middle East. Most of you probably weren't aware of half the things happening in the Middle East before October 7th, and no one would blame you for that. And so this idea that you're somehow complicit is just absurd. And I apologize for these bi-weekly or twice a week, every other week conversations in which you're being blamed for something that you have absolutely no input or responsibility for. And we acknowledge that. We thank you for as it was mentioned, respecting our community, respecting our time, and we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Stuart Unsdorfer.
My name is Stuart Unsdorfer. I'm a resident of Geauga County, and I just wanted to thank you all for everything that you're doing. And I do support Israel. Please know the Jewish people have confronted and overcome even greater evil than what you represent, these people here that are representing the Palestinians. Further know that my people will stand strong against terrorism and hate. Further know that my people desire to work with peace-loving people, and we hope and pray that this opportunity will eventually come to be. I want to thank you for your time. I cede the rest of my time to the council. Thank you.
Andrea Doe.
Hello, I'm Andrea Doe, a Cuyahoga County resident of over 10 years. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio, and to ensure I received a great education, my parents put me in a Jewish day school. Again, against the backdrop of a small city devastated by the collapse of the steel mill industry, a Jewish Zionist school was one of the best funded and highest performing. Every morning, we pledged allegiance to the American flag, then shortly after sang Hatikva, the national anthem of Israel. Me and other students had to sing our allegiance to a foreign country for the sake of a stellar education. As a public school teacher, I could only imagine how much those 16 million would benefit our students, particularly Black students. Directing my comments to the Black County representatives, I don't know how some of you can still call yourselves Black, I'm sorry. Staying silent in the face of what the ICJ and other institutions have deemed a genocide of Palestinians is disgraceful. Nelson Mandela's grandson is on the front lines fighting for Palestine. Angela Davis, who has historically been pro-Palestinian, who was here last year, might not stand next to you. And Harriet, she might have left y'all behind because your allegiance to the Democratic or Republican Party plantation is greater than that to your own people, like Pastor Bunch, who was dragged out of here like this was 1965. I will take back these comments if Chris Ronayne divests from Israel and invests in the impoverished, left behind, $16 million missing communities that many of us serve here.
Bruce Mandel.
I'm Bruce Mandel, lifelong Cuyahoga County resident. I wanted you to know, in case you're unaware, that Robert Sprague, the Ohio Treasurer, just last week announced the purchase. I want to repeat the word purchase of $35 million in Israel bonds. And he said, and I quote, "We are continuing the long-standing practice of investing in Israel bonds as a way to bolster the state's investment portfolio. Israel bonds have long served as a sound investment for the Ohio Treasurer's Office with a record of competitive rates and reliable repayments." And the state of Ohio has a total of $262 million in Israel bonds. And why is that? It's because despite fighting enemies on 6 fronts, Israel's economy has remained strong and resilient. The Jewish state has never once failed to repay an investor since Israel bonds came into existence in 1951. That's the economic case for Israel. It's strong. But even stronger is the American national security and moral case. There's one democracy in the Mideast. It's Israel. There's one country in the Mideast that shares American and Western values of freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to live as one desires, and with laws to protect women's rights and voting rights for all citizens. We have one steadfast ally in the Mideast who shares our values, and that's Israel. Don't be intimidated by the mob. Do the right thing, continue to invest in Israel. And I'll close by saying that Israel has a right to defend itself, and we should support that right. Thank you.
Vera Yadovia.
Members of Council, I'm Vera Yudovina. I'm a resident of Solon in Cuyahoga County, and I'm here just to thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to both sides. I really appreciate it, and I trust you that you will make the correct decision. Thanks again.
Stephanie Thomas.
Stephanie Thomas, resident of Cuyahoga County. Firstly, I stand in solidarity with all my Arab cousins in attendance and our allies. Israel still occupies Lebanon. They decimated Beirut and other villages and cities for absolutely no reason. I am Lebanese, and I'm hoping to visit my cousins whenever they end the occupation. Okay, a palate cleanser. I just wanted to come in and give you an update because I've been emailing some of you and not getting responses. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie K. Thomas. I'm an architect and a peer recovery supporter. I'm the executive director of Shelter the People Cleveland, and we house 209 unique individuals in our first fiscal year. I'm also the director of the pretrial support team, which to date has a 100% success rate of keeping our clients out of jail or prison. I sit on the advisory board for the Office of Homeless Services as an architect with lived homeless experience. I'm also an elected member of the Democratic Party and a poll worker. In North Broadway, we've assembled a team of professionals, social workers, counselors, and contractors who are ready to build gorgeous, affordable, and sustainable homes. We intend to build these very same homes all throughout Cuyahoga County. A little over 2 years ago, I was granted $10,000 for housing. I am now responsible for $750,000 of property in Cuyahoga County. None of that would have been possible without a $10,000 grant. We're opening in April, and our building is self-sufficient, self-supporting. Thank you for your support in the future. Thank you.
Sabrina Wicker.
My name is Sabrina Wicker, and I'm a Cuyahoga County resident, and today I would like to talk about democracy. The County Council website describes the Council's role as follows. The Council makes policy decisions for the effective functioning of the county government and is a link between government agencies and citizens. All the way since last year, Cuyahoga County residents have come to these meetings to ask the Council to divest from Israeli bonds. Lifelong residents have given heart-wrenching testimonies describing the brutal conditions of ethnic cleansing that their loved ones have faced on our taxpayer dime via this county's investments in Israeli bonds. A multitude of people from different races and religious backgrounds have expressed their horror at the Council's apathy when constituents that you serve come to compel you to reconsider investment in the systematic and racialized oppression of Palestinians. Multiple residents have even highlighted how poor of a financial decision it is to invest in Israeli bonds, providing credible evidence demonstrating that we are unlikely to see a worthy return on this investment. The county has and will continue to suffer because money that could be invested right here at home to solve the rampant issues in education, poverty, crime, etc., is being unconsensually taken from taxpayers and given to a nationally unpopular and horrific cause. The dedication and persistence exhibited by residents of Cuyahoga County to oppose the county's investment in Israeli bonds is unmatched. The council knows this as it has had to change a number of rules to simply accommodate all of us. The county knows that the strong, passionate, and ever-present majority wants divestment, but instead the county continues to violate its own stated role of being a link between the government and its citizens, instead playing into party politics with notoriously racist and undemocratic politicians like Chris Ronayne, Bernie Moreno, and Dave Yost. So, to the council, I am letting it be known to you, as representatives of the people, you have failed in executing your role to the people. You have done so in a way that is so far removed from the basic ethics of democracy that you now and forever will have Palestinian blood on your hands. Stop pretending like this council is a beacon of democracy. Stop letting the sunk cost fallacy that is governing your support of racism, hate, and genocide overrule your basic sense of his human morality and divest from Israeli bonds.
David Pearl.
My name is David Pearl. I'm a registered representative for Israel Bonds here in Cleveland. Good evening. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I want to emphasize why continuing to invest in Israel bonds is not just a sound financial decision, but a commitment to economic stability, innovation, and strong international partnerships. I would like the county executive and the president of council to know, as Mr. Mandel just said, that the Ohio Treasurer of State just purchased $35 million on February 1st, and we are very appreciative of the Ohio Treasurer's sizable investment that totals over $262 million. First and foremost, Israel bonds offer their competitive investment. Israel has never defaulted on its obligations in 54 years since it started, even through global financial crises and regional challenges. The country's economy is resilient and track record of responsible fiscal management. For Cuyahoga County, that means a reliable return on investment that directly benefits our taxpayers. Our investment sends a powerful message of support for a trusted ally and democracy in the Middle East. Israel is a strategic partner of the United States, and by continuing our investment, we strengthen the economic and diplomatic ties that benefit both our nations. Cuyahoga County has a proud history of smart investments, and Israel bonds align with our values of fiscal responsibility and global engagement. I urge you to continue this commitment because it's not just good policy, it's good business. Thank you very much.
Razi Michelot.
Hi, I'm Rizal Michaelo, and I am a resident of Cuyahoga County. Thank you for allowing me to just briefly address the council today. I would like to say that divestment would mean capitulation to forces that represent hatred and repression, everything that we as a county, state, and cities stand against. There is no genocide being in Gaza. The facts are Hamas attacked Israel on 10/7. Israel is acting in self-defense. Genocide recently was demonstrated by the 3 starving Israeli hostages that were just released by Hamas. That is genocide. Thank you very much.
Alan Wine. Alan Wine.
My name is Alan Wine. I'm a longtime resident of Cuyahoga County, and I just want to thank all of you for your investment in the state of Israel. I especially want to thank Chris Ronayne for what he has done for the city of Cleveland, and hopefully we will have good luck keeping the Browns downtown where they belong. Thank you very much.
Ann Ghazi.
Hello, my name is Ann Ghazi. I'm a Cuyahoga County resident, and I want to thank you in advance for listening with a fair mind. The latest images of Israelis released in Gaza were shocking. Their frail bodies, skin, and bones. The world was horrified by their suffering. But look at Gaza. Women, children, and men, all skin and bones. Entire families starving under a siege and 15 months of starvation. Where is the horror for them? And what about the Palestinian hostages released from Israeli prisons, this bastion of democracy in the Middle East? Because that's what they are. They're hostages. They're picked off the street. They're not charged with crimes, and they're held for weeks, months, years, decades. Many walked out of prison malnourished, diseased, some taken straight to the hospital, sores all over their skin. Why don't we matter? Because we've been dehumanized, made to seem deserving of the violence against us. But we're people. We're not something less. We're called beasts and savages, terrorists, barbarians, radicals, extremists, human shields, jihadists, and even mob. Thank you. We are Muslim, we're black, we're brown,
bodies in a world that only values whiteness and colonial power. And history tells us what happens to those who are seen as less than human. Millions have died under occupation and in struggles for independence around the world. Palestine's no different. Chris Ronayne doesn't care about the babies bombed in Gaza, though, or the babies dying in Cuyahoga County. We have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the country, which just kills me. Because the truth is, this system, we don't matter, but please divest from these bonds. And I hope nobody stabs me in the back that's in the audience, because there's a lot of Zionists here today, and it worries me.
Karen Wine.
Hello, my name is Karen Wine, and I have been a Cuyahoga County resident for over 50 years. I'm here to thank the members of County Council and County Executive Chris Ronayne for their commitment to the Jewish community here in Cleveland, in Cuyahoga County, as well as investing in Israel bonds. I hope that you will continue to do so and stand against hate and bigotry in Cuyahoga County, as well as our whole country, our home. Thank you for your service to our community.
Rabbi Miriam Geronimus.
Good evening. My name is Rabbi Miriam Geronimus, and I'm a resident of Cleveland Heights. In the Jewish tradition, we read from the Torah every week, and this past Shabbat, we read from the book of Exodus, the moment when the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, reaching liberation after hundreds of years of slavery. Only moments prior, liberation seemed impossible. They were stuck between the sea and an army descending upon them. Imagine the fear in a moment like that, when all hope seems lost. And then the unimaginable, the sea parts, hundreds of thousands of people, men, women, and children, walk across the dry sea floor, slaves one moment, free the next, erupting into spontaneous song and dance. I don't know if any of you have seen the photos or videos the past couple weeks of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians walking home to North Gaza, of families reunited with huge grins and hugs, of crowds dancing as their loved ones return from being unlawfully held in Israeli prisons. To me, it has felt like the Torah come to life. In the Torah, freedom is a divine miracle, but in the world we live in, freedom is human. It is something governments grant and something they squash. The ceasefire in Gaza is very tenuous. I'm scared to imagine what Palestinians in Gaza will be experiencing next week. But what Israel is able to do is dependent largely on American funding, including in the form of Israel bonds. Council, you have the opportunity to act for freedom. Do not reinvest in Israel bonds.
Brian Duplazer.
Hi, my name is Brian Duplacer, and I'm a Cuyahoga County resident. Regardless of how long that I've been here, I still matter. So, anti-Palestinian racism is rooted in an Orientalist belief that Arabs are backwards, barbaric, and are born inherently anti-ethical to be enlightened beliefs of the West. The conclusion of these racist thoughts are that Palestinians are savage, uncivilized, and therefore unable to govern themselves. Racism has always been used as a tool to justify violence and subjugation of one group over another. For Palestinians, this racism has been used to justify our oppression since 1947, when Western powers, without our consent, divided our land and funded our murder and displacement. It is also the same racism that Israel bond supporters in this room are relying on to defend the $16 million in bonds that the country holds. Here are some of the examples I found from public comments. On June 18th at 14 minutes, and Mark Ashen called Israel the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel has been ruled an apartheid state by the highest court in the world, and Palestinian citizens of Israel are treated like second-class citizens. Israel is not a democracy, and Palestinians are not some boogeymen of democracy. On July 22nd, Edith asked the county not to give in to the demands of elements who do not represent the same Western and civilized values as Israel and the United States. The word uncivilized is racist because it has historically been used to justify colonialism, dehumanization, and cultural superiority by framing non-Western peoples as inferior. On July 30th, 24, Michael called our support of Palestine the localized Hamas war, implying we are all terrorists and deserving our collective punishment. Do not punish me and my family because of the race that we are. We are Palestinian, and my family over there has been tortured, and you know, it's disgusting. Y'all supported that? It's very disgusting. Chris Renane is disgusting. Bernie Moreno, you're disgusting.
Shireen Nasser.
My name is Shireen Nasser, and I could not be more proud of my husband who just stood up here and shared about our Palestinian community and the racism that we've been experiencing because of the rhetoric of Israel bond supporters in this room. Ongoing trying to paint Palestinians as a boogeyman to the enlightened West, as Bruce Mandel called us his last public comment on the 28th, the dark place in the Middle East. My people are not a dark place in the Middle East. We are vibrant, we are full of life, we are full of love, and we only ask for what every other human being asks for: freedom, sovereignty, and the right to live in dignity. Instead of working to end all discrimination, as we should all be doing, bond supporters falsely call criticism of Israel anti-Semitic, and then use it to activate white supremacists like Bernie Moreno, who, I will remind them, tried to make a case for reparations for white descendants of Civil War soldiers. The only anti-Semitism that has happened in this room has come from Israel bond supporters. For example, when Daniel called members of Jewish Voice for Peace capos an anti-Semitic slur on June 4th, about 2 hours into public comment. Or when teenagers wearing Israeli military shirts yelled self-hating Jews at Jewish Voice for Peace members while they were giving public comment. Whether we like it or not, our fates are all inextricably linked. That means that when we allow anti-Palestinian racism to flourish, we allow all discrimination to flourish. Our fates are tied together. I ask Israel bond supporters to be self-aware about the language that they are using and the racism that they are allowing that allows for the genocide in Palestine, the dehumanization of me and my children, that is done for things like doxing of Palestinians in Cleveland. I don't know if y'all know, there's a whole Facebook group based on doxing Palestinians here in Northeast Ohio using the same racist rhetoric right here in this room. Free Palestine, thank you.
Howard Bender.
Good evening. I'm Howard Bender, proud multi-decade resident of Cuyahoga County and proud congregant at Park Synagogue in Pepper Pike. Mr. Miller, President Miller, Mr. Ronane, honorable members of council, thank you for your manifold good works for the people of Cuyahoga County. You've been a wonderful success. Thank you also for your continued support of Israel bonds and of the state of Israel. And thank you for allowing me and others to speak to this council this evening. Good evening, and thank you.
Joan Sachs.
Good evening. Thank you, council members, council president, for allowing me to speak. I know that you have the honor and the duty to represent our county in the best way possible. And by investing in Israeli bonds, you're doing that as of February 9th. The rate for a 10-year Israeli bond was 5.48, while U.S. Treasuries were paying 4.25. That's a 1.23% difference. On $10 million of bonds, that's $123,000, and that's at $10 million. So with that money, you're helping all of us with a reliable partner that has always paid interest and is the only democracy where both Arab and Jews live. And it's the only country. There were no Jews living in Egypt. There were no Jews living in Syria. They were ransomed at $5,000 a head, or they would have been killed. So, but in Israel, Arabs do live, Arabs vote, and there are Arab members of parliament. So thank you for your continued support of Israel and for democracy.
Rebecca Greenspan.
Hi, I'm Becca Greenspan. Thank you, Council President Mr. Miller and esteemed representatives. I'm speaking on behalf of the Jewish community to express our deep gratitude for your unwavering support and investment in our community here in Cuyahoga County. Your commitment and steadfast advocacy have not gone unnoticed, and we truly appreciate your dedication. The Jewish community is an integral part of this county, contributing to its cultural, economic, and social fabric, as are all of the communities that make up the fabric of our diverse county, many of whom are represented here tonight. I encourage you to continue your support as it strengthens not only our community, but the entire county. Thank you for standing with Israel and for your tireless service to Cuyahoga County. Your leadership and dedication are invaluable. Thank you.
Daryl Houston.
Hello, everybody. My name is Daryl Houston, and I stay in Bedford Heights. This is a very frustrating situation. I'm an African male, and I'm going to suggest to my colleagues in the back of me, everyone in the room in the back of me, let's start using the word humanity. You guys are starting to slide down a slippery slope when you just sit here and talk about Jewish, or you sit here and talk about Palestinian. We're 42 days into the new year, and we had 3 young African Americans, juveniles, 2 of shot, and 1 is deceased, a 10-year-old, okay? And it's funny that we continue to sit here and only talk about one race, one situation, when we're all in this together. And I'm urging my colleagues in the back, we're watching. We are watching. And I suggest that you guys start using the word humanity, because that's what it's all about, humanity. Human beings, humanity. Children, humanity. Community, humanity. I don't want to keep hearing certain races use and complain about their situation. There's not one race in this community, in this world, who is not suffering and going through different things. And I'm asking you guys in the back of me to start using your minds. I am a true warrior of Cuyahoga County. And I say that, stand here with a bullet sitting at the side of my head, 16 years wrongfully in prison in Cuyahoga County, and I'm a pillar of this community, 2-time, 3-time over business owner, group home owner, and I'm giving back to my community. And I suggest all of you sitting back here do the same thing. Thank you.
Michelle Levine.
Hello. Thank you, County Council, for the hard work you do. I understand there are various things going on in this county, and absolutely, it should also be talked about. I'm here, though, to support today Israel bond investments. It's a good investment for this community and provides money for allocation to approved budget items for the important programs of this county. Meanwhile, many pro-Palestinian terrorist supporters are instead causing colleges and other organizations and city to incur unnecessary expenses, such as having to pay thousands of dollars for cleaning and repairing of horrific vandalism at college campuses such as Case Western Reserve University. In addition, it's ironic, but there's millions upon millions of dollars being given to Gaza and the West Bank by the United States and Europe in aid, only to be turned around and have much of it being used to build tunnels, buy weapons to commit mass murder, and for paying terrorists to kill innocent people. Their crying, complaining, and anger should be directed towards Hamas and Iran's other proxies as the source of their problems, not Israel or the United States. Thank you.
Nicole Bourne-Crow. Nicole Bourne-Crow.
Hello, my name is Nicole Bourne-Crow. I live in Cuyahoga County. I'm actually going to read some words from another Jewish Voice for Peace member who couldn't be here. Their name is Cesney Watkins, and they're a resident of Cleveland Heights. You have been told that it is anti-Semitic to divest from Israel. I am writing, as a Jew, to tell you that that is a lie. In the early 1900s, my great-grandfather fled from the violence of the pogroms in Ukraine, eventually arriving in Cleveland. Here, he advocated for labor rights to the point that he had to change his name to protect his family. His daughter fought for civil rights and integration in Cleveland and participated in organizing around fair housing and fighting against apartheid in Cleveland. To me, this history is what it means to be a Jew. I do not forget the oppression my people have faced, and because of it, I'm compelled to fight for oppression wherever I find it. To me, being a Jew means that I must stand against Israel and the genocidal racism that it represents. Protesting a government's policies is not anti-Semitic. This is a dangerous lie that detracts from the threat of true anti-Semitism like what my great-grandfather faced. It makes it seem silly and fake when it is anything but. It takes away from the Senator Moreno's ilk, people like Musk who do the Nazi salute at his rallies. It is not anti-Semitic to oppose the leveling of homes in the West Bank, the denial of basic needs like water and tents in Gaza, and the mass torturing of prisoners. So, what will you do about these crimes? Will you be remembered among those who supported the Rwandan genocide or the apartheid in South Africa? Or will you spend our taxes on bettering our community rather than destroying others? Divest from Israel, help end the genocide. Thank you.
Sandy Seeger.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandy Seeger. I live in Solon, Ohio. First of all, I want to say I'm taken aback at the violence and the nastiness that's foisted upon you individually, week after meeting. It's horrible. You don't deserve that. I'm not going to apologize for it because I didn't do it. I would encourage everybody to, on YouTube, there's a interview with former President Clinton. It's a recent interview, and they asked about any regrets he may have had. One of the main regrets he had was when Yasser Arafat reneged on the peace deal that he had originally signed to. It gave him 97% of what is now the Muslim-occupied territory of Judea and Samaria, gave him 97%. He reneged and continued his war on Israel. So I just don't understand what they're talking about back there. I'd also like to address the woman who spoke about Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a beautiful country. It was a place where people would go for vacation until the civil war that the Muslims brought upon the country, overthrew the country. The rest is history. The Hezbollah took over, and the rest is history. I would also, at one point, like to hear anybody who supports a Palestinian state also say Israel has a right to exist. I'd just like to hear that from them one time. But mostly, I want to thank you for being prudent with the Cuyahoga County's money, investing it wisely, which includes Israeli bonds. They've always paid their interest. You look after me as a citizen and all other citizens. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That concludes the public comment portion for tonight's meeting.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from January 28, 2025 for both the Committee of the Whole and the regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We're going to take about a minute recess to allow those who wish to leave at this time to do so.
Hello, Mr. County Executive. How are you today?
We'll come back to order, and the next item on the agenda is messages from our county executive.
Good evening, Council President, members of council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Wanted to just run down a few things that we've been active with lately. First of all, this week's Ohio Transit Week. I want to thank the RTA for all they do in this town, and thank them for the ride this morning on the 55. But all week, Ohio Transit Week, every week is Transit Week. For those that weren't there, I just wanted to shout out to the Cleveland Public Library for the opening of the MLK Branch Library. It's an incredibly important library in the system, located on Euclid Avenue at East 105th. If you get a chance to get over to see it, it really honors the legacy of Dr. King, but also just a stellar effort by the Cleveland Public Library. So shout out to the public library. Also opened recently, but in the neighborhood, the same neighborhood, we had the opportunity to interview Sonia Winter at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. Another great place to get out to see. They finished a $130 million capital campaign in University Circle, and it's a sight to behold. I want to pay thanks to Dr. Otis Moss and Edwina Moss for speaking at the MLK Branch Library about their journey in civil rights, their literal bridge back to Dr. King. They were married by Dr. King and fought with him on the front lines for many years for civil rights. I was honored to give Dr. Moss the key to the county during his presentation on MLK Day this past month. Also want to thank DJ Lily Jade, for those of you who saw her at our State of the County. She's a star. She's a rising star, 10 years old, and on her way in the media world. She now hosts a program called More Childhood Please. Her opening watch party was 2 weeks ago on WKYC. She's featured on Saturday nights at 7 o'clock. And this is Cleveland's own DJ Lily Jade. Essence of her show is talking about alternatives to screen time for kids. And it's a nice message that she presents every Saturday night with a fun flair to it. I wanted to congratulate new Board of Elections Director, Justice Melody Stewart. Look forward to working with her, especially as we transition the BOE to 1801 Superior. A lot of work to do ahead. Looking forward to that opening for the fall election season. Also, speaking of openings, I had the chance to visit Centra Via. Would encourage you to do the same on Lower West 25th Street. It's been many years coming, and thanks for the support, County Council. I know, Councilman Sweeney, you put a fair amount of ARPA dollars into that. But get over to see it. It's 12 local Hispanic businesses, open from 8 to 8 daily. Get over there for breakfast, for coffee, for lunch. And we want to show those businesses our support. It's tough opening in January, and they're open for business at Centra Via. Also, thanks to the Stella Maris team for hosting public officials meetup yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to get over there, just seeing the work that our partner does in the areas of recovery. It's a miraculous work they do just off of just to the top of the West Bank of the Flats. Also encourage you to get over to their coffee shop, which is open and supports the organization. If you buy a cup of coffee, it goes back into the organization at Stella Maris. Last Thursday night, Jim Donovan was honored as the Sports Commission in its 25th anniversary, renamed the Courage Award in conjunction with the Cleveland Clinic, the Jim Donovan Courage Award. Had a chance to meet his family, and just wanted to say hearts always go out to the voice of the Cleveland Browns, Jimmy Donovan, but glad to see that the Courage Award will forever be in his honor, in his name. Hats off to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 43-10. Also encourage you to see a Charge game. They're a little bit less of a ticket price down at Public Auditorium. Charge play off on Lakeside, right across from City Hall. Finally, keeping with my sports themes, we are actively pitching the Special Olympics 2030. If we're lucky enough to get the Special Olympics, we're currently in competition with Nashville. We're the 2 finalists. We would host the 2030 Special Olympics Games here in Cleveland. That's my report, and it's an honor to be a part of all those initiatives. Thank you, Council President. Back to you.
Thank you very much for your report. Item number 9, legislation introduced by council, considerations of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2025-0070, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to the Western Reserve Land Conservancy for the purpose of Herman Park Trail Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Refer to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2025-0071, awarding a total sum not to exceed $5,000 to the Case Western Reserve University Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusive Engagement for the second day of experience to empower Black women from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Refer to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading. Each of these items, after being read into the record, will move to the February 25th, 2025 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0002, awarding a total sum not to exceed $9,890 to the City of North Olmsted for the purchase of a backup generator for the Oxcart Food Pantry from the District 1 and District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund. Resolution 2025-0045, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People for the Changing the Narrative on Youth Justice and Violence Prevention Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund. Resolution 2025-0046, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Western Reserve Ohio Chapter, the Links Foundation, Incorporated, for the purpose of the Community Baby Shower Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
There is a proposed substitute on this item. I will call on Trevor Mackler to explain the substitute.
Good afternoon, council members. Trevor Mackler, County Council staff. Before you is a proposed substitute that would add $5,000 from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund, taking the total award to $15,000. This was discussed in last week's Health and Human Services Committee.
Do I have a motion to accept the substitute?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the substitute? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The substitute is accepted, and the resolution as substituted will move to the February 25th, 2025 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0047, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan. Resolution 2025-0049, reappointing Deborah Southerington to serve on the Cuyahoga County Personnel Review Commission for the term March 8th, 2025 through March 7th, 2031.
Consideration of resolutions of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0369, approving the appointment of Douglas J. Mazer to serve on the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending November 15th, 2028.
To my colleagues, this was heard in the HR committee and unanimously passed out.
May I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2024-0398, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Women of Color Foundation for personal and professional development training programs from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I'm going to refer this to the sponsor.
Thank you. Through the president, I'd like to make some comments.
Please proceed.
Black History Month is often a time of reflection, especially now. I think about how important it is for Black men and women to hold positions in public office, and I do not hold my duty lightly. Recent remarks have caused me to reflect on my public service as a Black woman raised in Cuyahoga County. My actions, both personally and professionally, incorporate these experiences, and my work in life have been dedicated to addressing disparities that I've had a front row seat to my entire life. I've had the tremendous privilege as a councilwoman of sponsoring legislation that has had a significant impact on the lives of our residents, whether it be affordable housing, support for families and children, or services for our most vulnerable. I will never stop being intentional about my decision-making and will always make an effort to address inequities locally and beyond. The discord in our community, it saddens me. I will continue to listen to all sides and support all the residents I serve and to empower not one, but all marginalized groups and communities. This resolution regarding the Women of Color Foundation for personal development and training programs is a very important program. The funding will support registration, scholarships for professional development trainings aimed at women who are aspiring nonprofit leaders and entrepreneurs. I ask my colleagues for their support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2024-0433, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to the Cleveland Restoration Society for the Jesse Owens Family Home Stabilization Preservation Project from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this item was thoroughly vetted in committee. We all know Jesse Owens. His performance in the 1936 Berlin Olympics, he won 4 gold medals in track and field. He broke racial barriers, destroyed the myth of Aryan supremacy. with that performance, and his work echoes throughout time. And to find his home and have the opportunity to actually save this home from destruction and have it restored, it's a great opportunity. Again, this item was fully vetted in committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Through the president, I would like to add my name.
I would like to add my name as well, please.
Resolution 2024-0434, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Dress for Success Cleveland for general operating support from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I will refer this to the sponsor.
Thank you. This funding request will be used to fund the organization's operational expenses and programs. If you're not familiar with Dress for Success, they provide professional clothing and shoes, all kind of accessories to support women in their professional development and career exploration. I ask for your support of this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Please add the councilperson's name.
Resolution 2025-0003, awarding a total sum not to exceed $184,000 to Manufacturing Works for the Supply Chain and Workforce Alignment Project from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Both District 2 ARPA resolutions before us tonight are aimed at strengthening the economic development organizational infrastructure in and around District 2. This resolution provides $184,000 to Manufacturing Works to develop and expand a network of over 400 supply chain businesses to service the drone and advanced air mobility industries. This grant is expected to result in the creation of at least 25 new well-paying jobs in Cuyahoga County. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0004, awarding a total sum not to exceed $120,000 to the Arizona Alliance for the Arizona Financial Sustainability Initiative from the District 2 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This resolution provides $120,000 to the Arizona Alliance for enhancement of organizational infrastructure. The Arizona Alliance is working with Cuyahoga County, municipalities surrounding NASA Glenn Research Center and Hopkins Airport, and economic development partners to create economic development spin-offs. The grant will expand federal grant capability, paid membership development, and the individual donor base. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
And at this time, Councilmember Turner has asked her name be added to the legislation. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolution 2025-0006, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Eleanor B. Rainey Memorial Institute for the Rainey Institute Arts Education Access Program in Clark Fulton from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We heard this in committee and wanted to see if the sponsor had any words.
I want to thank the chairwoman for hearing it, and I just want to share that Rainey does a great job. It's right across the street from Central Via, strengthening West 25th Street, and it's a great investment, and I appreciate my colleagues' support.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
And at this time, Councilmember Turner has requested her name be added as a sponsor. Resolution 2025-0007, awarding a total sum not to exceed $100,000 to the Cuyahoga County Land Reutilization Corporation for the Circle East District Neighborhood Patrol from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund. and the Community Development Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was heard in committee, and I'll turn this over to Ms. Conwell.
Yes, I asked my colleagues to support this endeavor. East Cleveland is one of our cities that really needs some help in this county, and they are trying to start their way into development, and so they need some assistance with patrol. So their things that they have developed can remain stable until hopefully they can develop the city a little bit better. So I ask for my colleagues' support.
So I would add that the funding includes $50,000 from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund and an equal $50,000 from the Community Development Fund. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
And at this time, Councilmember Turner has requested her name be added as a sponsor to the legislation. Resolution 2024-0008, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Assembly for the Arts for the Study of the Arts Funding Landscape Project from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Second.
I would just like to share that Assembly of the Arts, this is a program that will, a project that will look into sales tax and things of that nature, with the cigarette tax, how we're going to fund future arts in Cuyahoga County. So I thought it was a very worthwhile project that is for the good of the whole. So I ask my colleagues for their support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0009, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to the Western Reserve Historical Society for place-making activities for the Western Reserve New African American History Gallery of the Cleveland History Center from the Districts 7 and 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
Move to adopt. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Well, I'm sorry, my name's not on here. This was heard in education, but it's not noted on item 10. So I'll speak to this. It was presented to education about the new activities at the Western Reserve Historical Society, and it was pretty amazing what they're doing, and it included book discussions, bringing in the community, and I want to add my name.
Everything the councilwoman said.
Sorry.
Please add Councilwoman Simon's name. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0010, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists for the National Association of Black Journalists 2025 Convention and Career Fair from the Districts 7, 8, and 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
Move to adopt. I would just want to say that this is a great opportunity for our region to host a national convention. And I'm proud that I was first in, and I'll turn it over to my colleagues if they want to share.
I echo your sentiments exactly. It's going to bring a lot of youth here to the county, and hopefully they will decide from all that they see that they will make a home here. So I will pass it on.
Right, and again, I echo everything that it has said. The Association of Black Journalists is a distinguished organization, a credit to this community, and I look forward to supporting this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0011, awarding a total sum not to exceed $75,000 to the Crew Foundation for the purpose of Workforce in a Digital Age project from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I can turn this over to the sponsor. I will say that the Crew Foundation has been before my committee numerous times, and it's always worthwhile work, and their expansion with partnerships in the state will result, I believe, in a really elevated film industry here and in the state. So I'm glad this came before us.
Thank you, and I just echo the words of the chair. The Crew Foundation, again, is a known quantity. They have truly worked to develop our workforce in the film industry here locally. So they have my support, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0012, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the National Rites of Passage Institute for cultural community engagement events from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. The requested funding will be used to support the organization's outreach to the community. I ask for your support on this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0013, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Neighborhood Leadership Institute for the Flagship Leadership Development Program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This request will fund a 16-week leadership program delivered in partnership with the Cleveland State University, designed to empower grassroots leaders to create positive change in Greater Cleveland. I ask for your support of this item.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0014, awarding a total sum not to exceed $18,000 to the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, Inc. for the SWIM 1922 project from the Districts 7, 8, and 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. Again, I want to thank my colleagues, Jones and Conwell, for joining me and supporting this. I had the opportunity to support the executive week before last, at the Freshwater Institute over at Cleveland State University, where they welcomed the first cohort. I think the kids were from Cleveland, but Warrensville Heights is also in this program. Executive, would you like to say something about the Freshwater Institute?
No, just thanks for coming over, and for everybody, thanks to Congresswoman Chantel Brown. We received congressional support for the Freshwater Institute, which helped us bring forth the new director of the Freshwater Institute. One of the programs that Councilwoman Turner is bringing up is our goal to get every fourth grader in Cuyahoga County swim ready. So we've been working with a group called Aqua Mission, who's working right now with Cleveland Metropolitan School District kids, but we've taken that to Warrensville Heights and working with Dr. Jolly, the superintendent there, and his team to bring every fourth grader to Cleveland State's natatorium starting this April to get kids swim ready, safe, and healthy. We have disproportionate number of drownings in our community, and particularly in our communities that are economically disadvantaged. So we're looking to level that playing field and help kids with a strong sense of swim readiness, but also love of the water. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. We're doing big things in Cuyahoga County around water safety and education and swimming lessons. My colleagues, if they want to say anything, not ask for your support.
No, I'll say I fully support this item. Our local coroners has made it quite clear how many deaths that have occurred. I have buried myself individuals who have lost their lives in local swimming pools and simply haven't had the opportunity to learn to swim. And it's as simple as that, just training and teaching our children to swim. And you can start to mitigate these unnecessary deaths. So again, I fully support this item, and along with my other sponsors, ask for our colleagues' support.
If I might just add one thing, that this the SWIM 1922 project also supports adult swimming and safety. Ask for your support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0016, awarding a total sum not to exceed $350,000 to the United Black Fund of Greater Cleveland for the Empowering Cuyahoga County's Opportunity Zones project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. Second. This grant will support a comprehensive workforce development initiative by providing training in high-demand fields to residents in Cuyahoga County's opportunity zones. I ask for your support of this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Please add my name.
May I have clarification of who made the first motion? Thank you.
Kelly, thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-0017, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Association of African American Cultural Gardens for the African American Cultural Garden Monument from the Project 9 District ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This funding request will assist in completing the final phase of the cultural garden. I ask for your support of this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0018, awarding a total sum not to exceed $9,000 to the Northeast Ohio Black Health Coalition for the A Talk with My Daughters Black Herstory Meets Black Health program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This funding will support a community event aimed at addressing health disparities in our region. I ask for your support of this item.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0020, amending Rules 12E, 12F, and 12G of the Cuyahoga County Rules of Council pertaining to committees of the council.
I move to adopt.
Second.
I will be allowing Council President Miller as the sponsor to discuss what this was about.
So this resolution simply slightly modifies the names of two of our committees to better reflect its topic areas and makes technical changes to the rules regarding temporary replacement of an absent member and the advisory subcommittees. I ask for the support of my colleagues. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Committee report.
Council President?
Yes.
This was a proposed substitute.
Okay, thank you.
Council President Michael King, Council staff, there is one proposed substitute for this item. It is purely technical in nature, and it's a provision in Section 4 dealing with the effective date that was erroneously copied over from an older draft. This substitute basically just corrects that error.
So I am going to make a motion that our decision to adopt this resolution be reconsidered. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I would now like to make a motion that we accept the substitute. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. As presented, the substitute is merely technical in nature. I ask my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is agreed to, and now the question is on the approval of the motion as substituted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance of council for second reading.
Ordinance 2025-0002, enacting Section 802.06 of the Cuyahoga County Code to require economic development proposals submitted to County Council for approval to include and incorporate essential deal terms.
This item will move to the February 25th, 2025 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. May I have a motion to suspend the rules regarding referral to committee and for 3 full readings.
Mr. President, I move to suspend those rules.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2025-0072, amending the 2024-2025 biennial operating budget for 2025 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I'd like to thank Trevor McAleer for getting me all the way together as I continue to get my sea legs, President Miller. And also to Director Parfiowitz and the Office of Budget Management for their responses and support. Here are some key items from this week's fiscal agenda. There's a $2 million investment in our IT infrastructure. A complete list of the capital upgrades is provided in the attached Q&As, which you have at your desk. There was a $285,000 request for the Sheriff's Department to replace aging jail mattresses. And although this item should have been requested as part of the biennial budget update, it's necessary to provide a humane sleeping experience for our inmates. And then there was a $365,000 allocation for the Division of Jobs and Family Services call center overtime, which will go through June 30th of 2025. And then finally, these fiscal agenda items prioritize technology improvements, public safety upgrades, and community well-being while ensuring responsible financial management. I urge my colleagues to support this legislation.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0073, approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Teamsters Local 436, affiliated with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, representing approximately 8 employees in the classifications of Airport Operations and Maintenance Specialist and Airport Operations and Maintenance Specialist Senior at the Department of Public Works, Cuyahoga County Regional Airport, for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026.
This resolution was discussed in our executive session, and I ask for the support of my colleagues. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Council President, we need to have a motion for first and second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Who was second?
Sweeney moved, Castleberry second.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2025-0074, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for on-call heavy construction services on a task order basis for various road and bridge maintenance and repair services for the period March 1st, 2023 through February 28th, 2026, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $1,500,000 for various providers A through D.
Refer to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2025-0075, making an award on requisition 15387 to Katz Construction, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,163,640.65 for a resurfacing and associated pavement repair of 0.60 miles of Wilson Mills Road from Richmond Road to Eastern Corporation Line in the city of Richmond Heights, effective upon signature of all parties through the project completion.
Refer to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2025-0076, making an award on requisition 15388 to Shermer Construction LLC in the amount not to exceed $2,586,786 for replacement of Shaft Road, bridge number 02.89 over West Creek in the City of Independence, effective upon signatures of all parties through the project completion.
Refer to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2025-0077, amending a resolution dated November 12th, 2024, which authorized affordable housing loans to various organizations in the total amount not to exceed $4,550,000 for the Affordable Housing Gap Financing Program to convert the $200,000 affordable housing loan for Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry to a grant.
Refer to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2025-0078, authorizing a contract with Root Integrated Systems LLC in the amount not to exceed $1,179,260.50 for service, maintenance, support, and hardware coverage on audio-visual conference room systems in various rooms throughout Cuyahoga County buildings for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
Refer to the Council Operations, Intergovernmental Relations, and Public Transportation Committee.
Resolution 2025-0079, authorizing a purchase order to Caremark PCS Health LLC in the amount not to exceed $1,868,943.48 as final payment for the December 2024 pharmacy benefit management services for Cuyahoga County employees and their eligible dependents and Cuyahoga County Benefits Regionalization Program participants rendered under contract number 1978 during the contract term of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024.
Refer to the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee.
Resolution 2025-0080, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Mental Health Services for Homeless Persons, Inc., doing business as Frontline Service for temporary housing for single adults and youth at North Point Transitional Housing, located at 1550 Superior Avenue in the City of Cleveland, for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, to amend the terms and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,422,933, effective January 1st, 2025.
Refer to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading.
Resolution 2025-0064, authorizing an economic development loan in the amount not to exceed $2 million to 2168 West 25th Street, LLC, or its designee for the redevelopment of the former Roush and Lang Carriage Company building, located at 2168 West 25th Street in the City of Cleveland.
We have a proposed substitute, which Trevor McAleer will present.
Good afternoon, council members. Trevor McAleer, County Council staff. In your packet is a proposed substitute that was discussed at last week's Economic Development and Planning Committee. The proposed substitute, at the request of Councilwoman Simon, in agreement with the Department of Development, will incorporate the terms of the loan that was presented to the committee and is part of the legislation. An additional whereas clause was added to the legislation to ensure the guarantee is included as part of the terms.
Is there a motion to accept the substitute?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the proposed substitute? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is accepted, and this resolution as substituted will move to the February 25th, 2025 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports. and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Do I have a motion to suspend the rule requiring 3 full readings?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rule.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2025-0038, authorizing an emergency rental assistance 2 loan and Federal Home Investment Partnership loan to Warner and Swayze LLC or their designee in the amount not to exceed $3,350,000 for construction of 140 units for mixed use, mixed income, mixed population, historic adaptive reuse of the former Warner and Swayze manufacturing plant located in the city of Cleveland.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yeah, this is a loan to turn basically a former manufacturing plant into a mixed-use, mixed-income facility. This historic building will now accommodate tenants, commercial businesses, much-needed growth in the central area. This is one-time funding that will make a significant impact. I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0051, confirming the county executive's appointment of Dolores Garcia to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for an unexpired 6-year term ending February 28, 2027.
So moved.
Second, Turner.
This was heard and thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee. I asked my colleagues to support it. It was unanimously passed. Out.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
And at this time, Councilmember Turner has requested her name be added as a sponsor. Resolution 2025-0052, confirming the county executive's appointment of Artis Arnold III to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for an unexpired 6-year term ending March 9th, 2027.
So moved. This was heard in the Appointments Committee, passed out unanimously. I asked my colleagues to support it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0053, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Sam Thomas III to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging Board of Trustees for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second.
This was heard in the Appointments Committee, passed unanimously, and I asked my colleagues to support it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Clarification of who made the second motion?
I did chime in, but I don't know. Could be. Yeah.
It
I
was
support
Castleberry.
Castleberry.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-0054, confirming the county executive's appointment of Nestor Rivera, Deputy Sheriff Major, to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community-Based Correctional Facility Governing Board for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
So moved. This was heard and thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee, passed unanimously. I asked my colleagues to support this piece of legislation.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Councilmember Conwell, if you could make sure your microphone is on, we couldn't hear you. Thank you. Resolution 2025-0055, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Brandy Carney, Director of Public Safety and Justice Services, to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community-Based Correctional Facility Governing Board for the term January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, in her official capacity as a representative of Cuyahoga County.
So moved.
Second.
Our coworker was presented. She was unanimously supported by the committee, and I asked for her support from my colleagues.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Councilmember Turner has requested her name be added as a sponsor. Resolution 2025-0057, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Scott Osecki to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community-Based Correctional Facility Governing Board for the term January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
This was heard and thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee, passed unanimously. I ask my colleagues to support it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0058, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Cynthia Schultz to serve on the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the term February 1st, 2025 through January 31st, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
This was thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee, passed unanimously. I ask my colleagues to support this piece of legislation.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025, 0059, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Cheryl King Benford to serve on the Cuyahoga County Law Library Resources Board for the term January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee, passed unanimously. I ask my colleagues to support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0060, confirming the designation of Marka Fields to serve as the alternate to the Honorable Mayor Justin Bibb on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, representing the Cleveland region for the term January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027, and amending Resolution 2024-0409, adopted December 3rd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Thoroughly reviewed in the Appointments Committee. I'd ask my colleagues to support it. It was passed out of committee unanimously, and I'd like to thank the county executive for filling all these spots. I know it was a lot and difficult to do, but filling the vacancies is important, so thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Councilmember Turner has asked that her name be added as a sponsor to the legislation. Resolution 2025-0062, making an award on requisition 15314 to Vandra Brothers Construction, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $2,004,831.95 for resurfacing of 1.39 miles of Broadway Avenue from Macedonia Road to Richmond Road in the village of Oakwood in connection with the 2021-2024 Transportation Improvement Program, effective upon signatures of all parties through project completion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0065, amending Resolution 2022-0405, dated December 6, 2022, which authorized Cuyahoga County match funding for givable loans to various organizations in the total amount not to exceed $5 million for various projects in connection with the State of Ohio Brownfield Remediation Funding Match Program for the period December 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2025, by extending the sunset date for Warner and Swayze to November 30th, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second. This is basically,
Any discussion?
I was just going to say this is basically just extending the sunset date to November 30th of this year. I ask my colleagues for support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Councilmember Turner has requested her name be added as a sponsor to the legislation. Resolution 2025-0066, making an award on requisition 14216 to Medical Mutual Services, LLC, in the amount not to exceed $361,085,387.30 for group healthcare benefits for county employees and their eligible dependents, and Cuyahoga County Benefits Regionalization Program participants, employees, and their eligible dependents, for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
This is the medical mutual, our benefits. I just want to give a thanks to Director Nemersall and her team with Oswald. They put a lot of work into this thing, and the best deal is here for our coworkers. And the benefit package is very important and necessary for our people we call coworkers. So please support it. It got passed out unanimously.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0067, making an award on requisition 14216 to Medical Mutual of Ohio in the amount not to exceed $2,126,403 for stop-loss insurance services for Cuyahoga County and Cuyahoga County Benefits Regionalization Program participants for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0022, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Elena McCruel to serve on the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the term May 1st, 2025 through January 31st, 2029.
So moved. I'd like my colleagues to support this. It passed unanimously out of the Appointments Committee, and Elena McCruel is a wonderful individual that's going to serve very well in the Development Disability.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0033, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the reconstruction of Lee Road from Invermere Avenue to Miles Road in the city of Cleveland in connection with the 2024-2027 Transportation Improvement Program. Total estimated project cost, $17,701,347, and finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's cost of said improvement.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was fully vetted in committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0035, making an award on requisition 14515 to Chagrin Valley Engineering Ltd. in the amount not to exceed $640,150 for engineering design services for the reconstruction of Lee Road from Shaker Heights Northern Corporation line to Invermere Road in the city of Cleveland, effective upon signature of all parties through project's completion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was also heard in committee, was fully reviewed, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Clarification of who made the second motion?
As well, I did.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-0036, making an award on requisition 15189 to Perk Company, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $2,756,758.25 for resurfacing of Snow Road from Ridge Road to State Road in the city of Parma, effective upon signature of all parties through project completion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Again, this item was also heard in committee, was fully vetted, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Can I make a quick comment on this?
Yes, you may.
This was, I really appreciate any support on this. This might be one time where we had good timing on something. This neighborhood, right in this area, experienced one of the biggest water main breaks I've ever seen in my neighborhood, and it wreaked havoc on the neighborhood. So maybe, you know, when we get this was all done and repaired, it'll be nice to see the road resurfaced properly over it. So I'd appreciate any support on this.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Could you add my name, please?
Please add Councilman Sweeney's name
Add mine as well.
and Schlepper. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0037, authorizing an economic development loan in the amount not to exceed $1,500,000 to WXZ CPV LLC and/or Taylor Tudor Tenant LLC as its designee to facilitate the redevelopment of the Taylor Tudor Plaza located at 1900 through 1910 and 1912 through 1926 and 1932 through 1946 South Taylor Road in the city of Cleveland Heights.
So move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was heard in Economic Development Committee. The Taylor Tudor Tenant LLC project will create 42 apartments, 8 live work units with mixed-use commercial space combined in Kane Park located in Cleveland Heights. The total project cost is approximately $26 million, with the developer seeking a $1.5 million loan from the county. The terms of the loan have been reviewed and approved by the county's loan committee and was recommended for approval. I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President, I had asked my name to be added to this in committee.
Please add
I don't
Councilwoman
know.
Simon's name. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0039, making awards to various municipalities in the total amount of $1,818,295.88 for various projects or programs in connection with the fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant Program for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 for the various municipalities, items A through M.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Mr. President, I'd like to have my name added to this item.
I'd like to add my name as well.
I'd like to add my name as well.
Okay, so we had Jones. Who else?
Sweeney.
And Schlepper.
Thank you.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0040, making awards to various municipalities and agencies in the total amount not to exceed $1,648,012 for various projects or programs in connection with the fiscal year 2025 Community Development Supplemental Grant Program for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, items A through double H.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just want my name added.
Please add my name.
And Kelly, please.
And Schlepper, please.
Jones.
Castleberry as well, please.
Simon.
Duly noted.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0041, authorizing an amendment to a contract with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland in the original amount not to exceed $1 million to increase the per household rate paid by the county from $1,067 to $1,700, effective April 1st, 2021. No additional funds required.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0042, authorizing an amendment to a contract with WB Mason Co., Incorporated for general office supplies and related services for the period April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to March 31st, 2026, to change the pricing list and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $550,000.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance number 0224-005 has been held in committee.
Miscellaneous committee reports. We'll start with Councilman Kelly on my right.
Economic Development will not be meeting. Thank you.
HR and appointments will be meeting. We only have one piece of legislation, but after discussion with the administration, it is an important piece of legislation to keep bureaucracy moving forward. So you'll be meeting at the normal scheduled time.
Nothing with safety.
The Operations, IT, and Transportation Committee will meet on Tuesday, February 18th at 3 o'clock in council chambers.
Health and Human Services will meet at its regularly scheduled time.
Public Works will meet at its regularly scheduled time as well.
No meeting, finance and budgeting.
Community Development will not meet next week.
Education and Environment will meet on the 19th at 3.
Thanks very much, everybody. Is there any miscellaneous business? Hearing none, the meeting stands adjourned. Thanks very much, everybody.